It's like fucking I go to a girlfriend's, it's like, you know, he's having a hard time, you know, it's like his tours never work, and it's like, he could be the people like him, like, the late 70s, like your McLaughlins, your Demiolas, all those big people, they just, you know, they don't want to be in a cult thing. You just can't do that, you know.
Well, get away with it. I wonder if he actually does get away with it, because he's known by most of the people that are into that thing, but I don't think that on a wide scale he's selling. And I don't think, you know, I don't see normal people, you know, dancing, people that go dancing, you know, by it, you know, so it's like.
It's just musicians, really.
Yeah,
what I want
to get back
to get back to what I was, so then you know, like you auditioned for Kiss, it pretty much worked. Then you went to New York. You started to change you. How did they come about to that? Like, did they simply tell you, you know, you're going to have to do this because of a contract, or was it?
Well, no, I hadn't even signed the contracts then. You know, I was in the studio recording the album. I didn't even sign any contracts. It's just like, but they were still giving me my money. I lived there, so I was staying at the Norfolk Plaza for about 6-7 weeks. And I couldn't stand it. This was like 24 hours of Vegas porno. So they had a broker. He took me to, you know, I can't live here though. This is not happening. And get out of the taxi and just look at the neighborhood and let the people hanging out in front of the building. I'm gonna get mugged and raped here, you know. So I finally found a place on 80th and 2nd, and it was expensive, man. It was like $1,400, $1,500 a month. It had no garbage disposal. It didn't have an elevator. It was a pre-war building. It didn't have no air conditioning. It didn't have the AC in the bathroom.
And we were paying that much for
we're
it?
paying, oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
like...
Yeah, this is a nice part of town too.
Right.
But here's one better, my Sublimited, and I stayed there for about 7 or 8 months, I think. And every day when I come to the studio, I'd come home and like work on my roughs, you know, because Gene and Paul would work in the same studio. Gene would be over at Hit Factory, and Paul would be over at Right Track. And when they needed me, it's like, is Mark done yet? Can I use Mark? Like Gene would call Paul, and Paul would go, no, he'll be done in 2 hours. And I'd get in my guitar, get out of one studio, and walk over to another studio, okay? Studio, Hit Factory is right across the street from Studio 54, it's on 54th Street. And Right Track was on the Main Street, 48th Street, and 7th, I think, over there. Music Row right there, they have all those music stores right there. And it's upstairs, yeah. And I'd go back and forth, you know, doing the roughs, you know, laying down guitar and then going back here. And I'd be from 11 in the morning to about 2 or 3 in the morning, 2 o'clock maybe. And I'd go home and practice some more on the roughs. I'd get up at 11 o'clock. I did that for about 2 weeks straight. I was just burnt out.
Probably.
Yeah.
And so, like, mainly was it like very subtle that brainwashing thing they did on you, kind of?
Well,
it's not really brainwashing. It's just like, you know.
Well, many times they wanted to fire me just for stupid stuff like, you know, you can't drink that, you can't eat that.
Really?
Don't talk like that. Don't walk like that.
Oh, really?
Don't walk behind them people. Let them walk behind you. It's like, oh yeah, Paul was always like that, and Gene was always going, can't eat that, can't drink that. And I'm going, I'm not drinking celery juice like you do, or you know, whatever, you know, or you know, have bran muffins in the morning. I'm having breakfast, you know. It's like, you know, I'm a kid, you know. So they've already had all their they've stepped their ways. I guess they went through the whole drug thing. Not that I was on drugs, but the whole drug thing and the whole business thing, you know. About after the gig, you know, everybody's backstage passes. There was never no backstage parties. We got the wardrobe lady gave us our bathrobes. We got in the limos. Limos went right to the hotel. We took all our sweaty clothes off, put them outside the room to pick them up, and all of a sudden it's like the other guys went to bed. And I'm going like, okay.
You want to party?
It's like, okay. I mean, I'm like, you know, here I am. Okay, this is real boring. You know, 20,000 people you play for, and it's like you watch every thing on TV, and you have 4 empty walls. It's like, what's going on? So you go downstairs to a local bar, and nobody knows who the fuck you are. Nobody cares. And you want to go out in the city, wherever city I was in at the time, because you know, something happened to me. The $1 million machine would go, you know, turmoil. So it's like you know, go downstairs and like, you know, get bored and go back upstairs. And I was in my contract, I wasn't allowed to do drugs or drink. I'd be terminated. So I never really got fucked up at all. You know? And plus, at this time, I was still sick. You know, so it was like a double-edged sword. Like, you know, they wanted me to be a certain way, and I was sick. You know, it was like, and I wanted to be myself. I couldn't It's like catch-22. You couldn't get, you know, you couldn't make any way. So it's like,
Were you sick, like, from that sort of lifestyle?
I was sick. The whole thing is I did the album. I finished the album, okay? And it's like,
You didn't know
I finished
about-
the album. This has been about, I've been in New York for about 5 months. Yeah, no, maybe 6 months I've been in New York. I go, man, I am homesick. I have no friends in New York. I want to come back to California. And they go, no, you can't. So finally I said, okay, you can go back for 2 weeks, then we're going to Europe. You know, for the big tour. And I'm going, great, you're great. You know, because I was going to come back, rehearse with them for a week, and then I'm going to go back to Europe. Okay. Came home here, one morning, I woke up and my hand was swollen. And they couldn't believe it. They were freaking out. They were just, yeah, I came back home and I haven't seen all my friends and like we're having a good time. It's like, oh Mark, we're glad you're doing this and everything. I'm going, yeah, it's really cool and like, you know, I'm partying and stuff, you know, I've seen all my friends and stuff. And I woke up one morning and my hand was swollen. I didn't know what was wrong. I thought it was like some bumblebee bites or something. I went to a regular doctor. He didn't know, so I waited about 4 days before I called him, you know. I thought maybe it'd go down. And I was just like, I can't call him and go, hey man, what's wrong with my hand? It's freaked out. So finally it was getting worse and I called him and I go, talk to Paul. I go, man, you won't believe this, man. My hand is swollen. I don't know what it is. I've been to a couple of doctors. They don't know. He was freaked out. I mean, he just did the album. It's going to be out in the stores for a week or something. Like we're going on a world tour. I got my hands messed up. I don't know what's wrong with this. So he's freaked out. He calls up a hand specialist in Beverly Hills. And so I'm going out there, I'm like, you know, all the movie stars, and they're looking at my hand and stuff. And I went there like 2 or 3 times, so finally he puts me into a cast. I'm going to a cast, and I'm in a cast for like 2 weeks now, okay? And it's my fingers are fucked up here, but I'm in a cast. And so he took it off, and he didn't know what it was, so I went to like an orthopedic surgeon, and that's with the bones now we're talking about. He did all the same tests and did stuff, and nothing, and then I went to a neurologist. These are all the people in Beverly Hills. They're paying for it because I got 80% insurance, like 85% insurance doing all this. I'm going, this is good, okay. So I went to a neurologist. He's looking at all my veins and my nerves and stuff. And now it's in my lower back and my kneecap. What's going on? I even went to acupuncturists and an allergist and fucking psychologists. I mean, it's like psychiatric people. So I finally went to a rheumatologist, and he goes, you got arthritis, buddy. He took me right there and put me in a wheelchair and moved me to the hospital. And I was going, oh, great. So it's like,
bye.
Yeah, I'm going, oh, finally, after all these assholes, 3 weeks now, you know, of all these other people that, you know, cost so much, they didn't know what was going on. And the rheumatologist told me I had arthritis. I was going, great. And it's like, he put me in the hospital. I was in there for so long. They're giving me, like, they're giving me shots in my fingers and
Is that really painful?
oh man, right in my knuckles here, like get the inflammation down and stuff, and they did in my kneecap and taking out water on my knee and stuff. And he said it would take from 6 weeks to 6 months to heal. Well, in about 3 days I had to go back to New York and rehearse to go to Europe.
Like, can't you get it
done?
done?
Like, Paul, gee, no, I'm in the hospital, so they're freaking out. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do. So
There must have been.
so like, for Bruce, it was like a godsend for him because they didn't have this whole idea of looking for somebody. Because remember, they didn't audition a bunch of guitar players. They found who they wanted. Okay, I was this person. So I guess Bob, their older brother, Bruce's older brother, with I guess one of the original Kiss members.
Yeah, he's known them for a while.
Yeah, okay, one of the
Something like
New
that.
Jersey, New York.
Something like that.
Yeah.
He recorded that on some